What's good, everybody? Josh Jones here on behalf of myself, Michael Severe. We with the Let It Fly show. Michael couldn't be here today, so I'm just gonna be the one holding it down. We got a special guest for you today. I'm interested in talking to him. My guy Tyson Terry, Omaha North. What I think is going to be a legend somewhere in the rafters, somewhere in the trophy case, man. So many accolades. But before we talk to him or whatever, there's so many different sports going on. Hockey's back. I think it's dope. I got YouTube TV, so sometimes I see an NBA playoff game going, and I got the hockey game going. You got baseball. Got all types of things going. I'm definitely going to tap into basketball and talk about that a little bit before we go into our guest, since Michael's not here. But before I talk about anything, I want to get a big and special shout out to, first of all, the Let It Fly Sports Bar. It's immaculate down here as I'm looking out from the sky bar. So many people in here, every TV going. I see everything playing. We got bowling, we got golf. Just make sure you come down here. Sometimes you got to order and reserve when we got special events going on, but for a time like this, we might get you one in and one out at the door. But yeah, also a special shout out and thank you to our sponsor for today's podcast, Budweiser. I almost said Bud Light, bro. But where you got easy drinking for easy buckets, easy field goals, anywhere you want to go, anything easy when it comes to your specific sport. We do appreciate and thank our sponsors. And as I'm getting into that, as I was sitting back drinking my Budweiser, I was watching the NBA playoffs, and we got some storylines for y'all. When this first started, everybody was talking about Anthony Edwards, how he was like the next Michael Jordan, and then they run into the Nuggets. I still do think he played like an 84 Jordan or the 80s Jordan before he actually started winning the championships. Super athletic, super young, swagger, all of that. 2000s Kobe with his confidence. But I heard people talking about that they was going to win it all. And to keep it real, like I'm at this point, I don't really got no favorite team in no stake in the game. I'm a Warriors fans now. I always tell people it took Kobe Bryant to retire, and then for Steph, Clay, and Dre, and then additionally KD to for me to replace Kobe Bryant as a fan. So I'm a Warriors fan, but now that they out, I'm just entertained. I'm just entertained by basketball. But when I watched the Nuggets versus the Timberwolves, man, the way I be thinking about it, Mac, I'm like, man, it's over. It's over. I mean, they playing against the best player in the NBA. And I know last week, myself and Michael, we talked about the face of the NBA or whatever, and he did All-Americans. But you got to keep it real. I think nowadays, especially with the game has spread so much internationally, the faces of the NBA to me is you got the best player in the game in Jokic. He a face for sure. You got Anthony Edwards with just his young swagger and just the way he's just balling right now. Tyrese Halliburton definitely is another one. You got two of the guys on our USA team that's doing their thing. Could be politics. I don't know. I think Kyrie should be in there. But, Kyrie, he is obviously who he is. But I'm just talking about I'm going to throw Kyrie Irving in there. Why not? He a face of the NBA. Who else I would say is a face of the NBA? Man, I still think Ja Morant. Like, I don't care what nobody say. I know he went through what he went through. He going through what he go through. I know the NBA ain't really talked about him, but once that guy plays, I think everybody just going to forget about everything that he did as long as he keep his nose clean. So I got Jokic, Halliburton, Edwards, Irvin, Morant. There's one more that I will replace in front of Morant, because I know a lot of people be shaking their head when I be saying that. I say, let me think. Jason Tatum. That's my other guy. Those are the faces of the NBA, right? Oh, man. Then you got Gilgeous Alexander. The NBA is just, you got so many people doing their thing. So I say that's my top 7 faces of the NBA. But if I absolutely had to pick one, man, I don't know, man. I don't know who to pick if I can pick one. I don't know. I just say Anthony Edwards is hot right now, so maybe he the face. You know, he got the commercials out there. He got the, you know, like, I mean, my son like Anthony Edwards, so I'm gonna just say he the face. But it's 7 guys that I think that the NBA, or 6.5 that the NBA is divvying out. You know, no, the playoffs is lit. I think it's gonna be Nuggets in 7. I do think that the Timberwolves gonna win the next game, and then the Nuggets are going to get them up out of there. Obviously, we got the Celtics going to the next round in the playoffs after an easy win over the Cavs. My boy Donovan Mitchell, he do be hooping though. And then we got my favorite, I think what is my favorite storyline, the New York Knicks. Man, like when I think about the Knicks, I take it back to 2016. I remember I was watching Creighton versus Villanova, and this is when Jenkins hit the game winner at the buzzer against Carolina in 2016. But I think back to, I remember DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, and Jalen Brunson, and they should go ahead and get Bridges from Brooklyn. But I just remember them boys hooping in, and to keep it 100 with you, like, to me, I feel like just that chemistry within it all. Yeah, they talented as a team, even though they shorthanded. I feel like they missing one more piece to get out of the Eastern Conference Finals. I think they're going to do what they got to do, one more against the Pacers. But it's just that chemistry right there. I think the Celtics should look forward to playing them, obviously. I think they're going to win, but I also think that they're going to give the Celtics a run for their money. But Celtics in 6. I think Celtics in 6. And I think if there's any year that the Celtics have to win it in their window, it's like the Celtics been right there, like for so long in the last few past years, but they just couldn't get done. In the beginning, it was immaturity. Then the year after that, it was, I want to say they lost to a better team. Then the year after that, like every time the Celtics has been right there. So I just feel like in sports, you got your window of when you could potentially win it all, and this is the Celtics' opportunity. I can't predict the winner in the finals, but I think it's going to be the Nuggets versus Celtics, and holla at me when we get there to see that. But when we come back, and I'm not rambling, we're going to be talking to my boy, Tyson Terry from Omaha North, senior football player and I'm going to say legendary OPS alum. We holler back at you at the Let It Fly Show.
On a Sunday. Gotta go. I forgot the sausage. You guys ready to eat? There you go. On a Sunday.
What's up, everybody? Josh Jones here again, back at the Let It Fly Show with my man Michael Severe be here. He be asking good questions. You meet him down the line. But I am here, like I said, with what I feel like will be a Nebraska legend, all-time great, definitely at North High School, a product of OPS, my man Tyson Terry.
What's going on?
How you doing, man?
Doing pretty good.
Good to see you, bro. I've been excited to come holler at you because I got like one specific. I'm gonna just get it out the way.
Yeah.
Ron Coleman and you. I'm gonna just get that out the way. Come on, like. First of all, it kind of speaks to Burger. We call him Burger, you know. But Ron Coleman, another all-time great wrestler, football player, just like yourself from North High School. For the people who don't know him, and he's a wrestler, kind of like he was undefeated.
Yep.
4-time state champion.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, 4-timer.
I think it was 4-timer. We're going to get into you talking about you being 3-time. But obviously, your predecessor, he the one. Kind of speak to him. Like, well, what do you think about him and his impact, and has he inspired you?
You know that's what Coach Berger. He's definitely a role model to me. You know, growing up, like 4-time state champ. You know, Omaha North. You know, family knew him. You know, just everybody knew him, and so he was kind of famous growing up. Man. You know what I'm saying? So like it's kind of just cool to see that, and just like he's been a role model. You know me and him have always texted, and he's always helped out. You know, he's always came back whenever he comes back. You know, he comes in, drills with me, helps me in different stuff and different things like that. And so like just having that dude, and like he could have, he ended up choosing football.
I know, yeah.
He definitely would have had a great wrestling
oh
career.
My gosh.
In college, I feel like. But just like that's just, to me, that's like a role model and like someone famous, I guess. And so like just to kind of be like compared. Yeah. So
respect.
That's cool. But, Coach, I probably wouldn't say nothing about
No doubt.
I
feel that. Yeah. And I can respect and appreciate that. You appreciate the people who come before you. Like, I'm going to be honest. When he was doing it, I didn't think it would be done again. Now, check this out. He got 4. 4 is more than 3 if I can add my math right. I know that got to be in the back of your mind as you're going into his senior year. Kind of talk about your journey to get where you at. Wrestling. I know it's an individual sport, but kind of like boxing too, what I'm gonna talk about in a minute. But like as a wrestler, like what goes all into you being who you are, undefeated, 136-0.
Yeah,
I know your numbers, bro. I watch. How did we get to where we at today?
That was definitely my dad. My dad was one of the first people of my family who wrestled. My dad and my cousin were.
Well, wait. So
my dad, he wrestled. He wrestled 125, 145, 152, 160 in high school. So he's a little smaller. And then ended up wrestling at UNO for a little bit with Coach.
Okay.
And so, I was born into that. My dad won 2 state titles. My cousin won 2. And then my uncle, Aaron, he was a one-time finalist.
Yeah.
And so that was just.
It's just in the blood?
Yeah, it was just, I was born into it. And so that's what my dad, from just such a young age, he pushed me to limits that, like I just, every time, we would, I thought he'd be trying to kill me or something, you know what I'm saying?
And so
like
looking back in those moments, man, we working out hard. I know what it takes to get there, but Dad, this is hard.
Yeah.
I feel you. I'm like that on my son.
Yep. and so now, like growing up, I'm not saying I'm growing up or anything, but like just
you are, bro.
Growing up and seeing that and now looking back at it, it's like, man, like that's what it set me up for success and just the mentality I have and things I attack, it set me up for life really. And so, I'm grateful for that. And wrestling has helped on another level too. Cause, even though I'm not planning on wrestling at Nebraska.
Man, can't nobody talk you to be Bo Jackson, Deion Sanders, man.
I don't
Two
know.
sports. There's a Husker player that does that.
Yeah, Nash.
Have you talked to Nash about that?
A little bit.
What's his experiences like that?
So he so what his schedule was is he would go wrestling practice, football, and then it was
I wouldn't do it either.
Yeah, and so
Nash, you tripping, bro.
I don't know if I'm about that life, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's a real grind. And I think for you, maybe you had a point where you like, hey, I can go pro in this or I can go pro in that.
Yep.
So you just all in?
Yep.
I feel that.
Yep.
Let me ask you this. So usually boxers, wrestlers, UFC, guys like that sometimes can come across intimidating as a person or come across as overly aggressive or aggressive when they walk around. Do you try to be conscious of that and try to because when I talk about Ron Coleman, man of God, with what I'm trying, I don't know how I really formulate what I'm asking, but to speak to your character, man, you really are like a humble beast. How does are you two different people? How do you correlate that energy to go out and perform the way you are and try to still be a really nice guy?
That family, just people I surround myself with. It's like, why put negative into the world? Yeah. And just why be a bad person? If I were just out talking,
right?
What's the point of being being rude or being disrespectful? And so it's just people who I surround myself with, my family. That's how I just grew up being a good person. But then when we get on the mat, on the football field, there's definitely a switch.
No doubt.
That
so
gets flipped. Yeah.
I respect that. Yeah. I always wonder that, man, because I'm these dudes always got to be on 10. You feel me? That's respect. Yeah. So let's take it back to the beginning, because when I think about guys like you, I consider you a diamond in the rough, because OPS as a whole, I went to Central myself. I'm an OPS product. OPS as a whole, like I don't think we're at where I feel like we can be or should be, because it's not a lot of. I'm gonna put you on camera too, Coach. It's like, like get ready for that. There's not a lot of, because we're gonna speak about Coach in a minute, but it's not a lot of guys like Coach, that like are out here like, putting the sweat equity into our grassroots, But with all that being said or whatever, what was it like for you coming up, and how did you get to North?
So I'm fourth generation at North. So, like that, I have. It was just it was just kind of something, I got a Viking tattoo on my back. Man. So, I got aunts, uncles, dad, just on the wall, right. And so I walk past that stuff every day. And so, like, being able, to be someone who goes to OPS, I've been OPS my whole life. Right. I feel like the OPS, it's kind of like a stereotype. Yeah, it is. And so, like, it is. That's what, like,
because I got another question off of that. Let me kind of segue. A lot of people transferred.
Yes.
What was your conversations with them before they left? Did they talk to you before they left? Obviously, we know why you stayed. Not just, I think, aside from just the tradition and the bloodline, I think if you genuinely wanted to leave, your people would have respected it. Yeah. But what was that like with the teammates? What made you stay? And were you trying to convince them, or what was that like?
Probably not gonna say names, but
for fact,
it's just a few guys told. One of the surprising ones, I found on Twitter. Just scroll. It was at a wrestling tournament. Yeah. Just Saturday afternoon, I'm scrolling through Twitter, and I'm like, what? Right. And I'm like, there's no way this is real. Yeah. And then
for sure.
And then you're texting him, and he's kind of denying it. I'm like, wow, like this is really happening.
No doubt.
And like it happened all over. It was like a span of like a few days over winter break.
I actually seen it on Twitter.
Yep. And so like man, you can't even tell me.
No doubt.
Like we were pretty tight.
No, I go back, as you talking with your passion, I go back to the moments in practice. Yeah. The games you won, the games you lost. I actually watch y'all play a few games where I feel like y'all was right there, should have won but lost, and then to see all that. Is that what's coming out of you as you?
So I mean, that's what like more of just kind of like setting in, like
for sure.
Damn, like, and then a few others bounced here and there, and it's all kind of like that was really that was kind of the base group. I mean, my freshman year, I took some of those kids to school every day. So like just kind of, I mean, not really. I mean, I wish, I always wish the best for someone, but for you to not tell me, and then, I don't know, over text.
It's deeper than football.
Yep.
For sure.
It was the bond that was built over those years.
I respect that, man. And obviously you play with that chip as you get ready for the season.
Yeah.
Give me some of the names of the people on your team right now for football-wise that are your leaders. Let's speak to the team captains. You got to be one of the captains.
Yep.
I knew that. Me. But like, kind of talk about the new glue.
Yep. So we got Mikey Gal. Yep. New quarterback. Love him.
I know. I got. Let me tell you a little funny story about Gal. Mikey Gal's uncle lives in my neighborhood. Okay. I got the drop on him before he was coming to Omaha. I was like, wow, like, real talk. Okay.
Yeah. And so that was exciting. Just to get a quarterback.
Can you really throw like that?
Yeah, he can. Okay. Yeah, he can.
Because I was going to test his hands, for real. Oh, yeah. Wow, that's exciting to get the quarterback. All right, so Mikey Gal, you got yourself.
Yep, so Mikey, quarterback, me. I'm probably going to have to go Greg Moore. Yep. Starting. He started nose guard for us last year. Yep. Yeah. So he's coming back this year. He's excited. I'm excited about him. He's gonna be playing some O-line this year for us, and so we're ready to get after it. Yeah. And then probably.
Let me read this to you real quick. Michael Severe couldn't make it here, but we was kind of like talking about you before the show, and he said, and you just tell me what you think. If you think if it's like, nah, that ain't me, just say it. Mm-hmm. If it is, it is not. He said, I think Tyson Terry is an NFL guard, not a defensive tackle. That's my opinion. Go ahead, bro. Speak to the people. What do you think?
I I hear it a lot. Even my dad.
Now check this. As people are saying that, like, really understand, like, once you out there, bro, like, you, like, all things got to be considered. Xavier Watts.
Yep.
Man, this dude, bro, his career was like, like, man.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I remember one time he told me, he was like, man, I did a whole offensive week of offense.
Damn.
I did a next offensive week of defense. I ain't even getting the game for neither position. But the thing is, I was thinking, like, was it somebody like you where you in one rep and you really should be in another rep, or is it about,
Yeah.
What do you think your circumstances?
So what's funny about that is my freshman year I actually went to a Notre Dame camp.
Word.
And it was like a 2-session thing, so it was like 2 hours, then lunch break, and then another 2 hours. So
yeah,
the first part, I went with the D line, and then as I'm coming back, and that's really where it started.
Right.
Just because I growing up played O line, just
for sure,
big lineman,
yeah,
and
right.
he came over. It was the D coordinator. He came over to me. He was like, "Hey, we're gonna try you at center."
Ah.
And I was like, "What?
Are y'all?
Yeah.
Are y'all?
Yeah." And so I was like, "All right, and so I obviously I did all right, it was kind of first time thing. I had like an hour just to work on some of the things, and so then like my Colorado offer that was for center.
Yep.
And then my Iowa was kind of both, but more leaning towards working towards the offensive side. And so, like, for me, and like my mentality towards it is like, why would I want to do something that I don't like over something that I love?
That's facts.
And so, like, I love defense.
Yeah.
So why in my mindset, why not play that instead of playing this? Maybe I do make it a little longer, but I don't like it.
No doubt. Yeah. Only and the way I can agree. I mean, me myself, I hate like giving examples when people are talking about their own circumstances. But I'm saying for me, so when I played basketball, like I was a slasher and I was a 3-point shooter. But when I played with Doug McDermott, I was a shooter. Period. I couldn't even get my rocks off. There was times where I get into it with my coach. He'd be like, "Run it." I'd be like, "All right, bow, miss or make." So I feel you.
Yep.
But the thing I say to you right now, just as my 2 cents of advice and what it's worth, sometimes it's the uncomfortable things that take us to the greatness.
Yep.
So what I say is everybody spreading rumors to that about like watching your game from the outside looking in. Like Rower was comfortable, but just always putting in the work in the area just in case. NFL teams is looking, they like, we really want to take him at D tackle. But like, it's just, he ain't got it, So prep like it just in case you got to do it.
For sure.
But like, ball out like you Reggie White or ball out, so you ain't even got to entertain that.
For sure.
But I'm just saying that like I challenge you this summer to kind of work on where you don't want to be. Just because like I know you're really good at this, but somebody might drop and they might need you at that. And that might be your 30 for 30. Yeah.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in the midst of all that, let's talk about Coach Dez. I kind of talked to you. I spoke to him before. I said, I'm 34 years old, so he been putting it down for a while, right?
Yeah.
He first came back to Omaha. He's like, "Hey, Josh, man, I see you do your stuff senior year, man. I'm want to get some sessions in." I did 3. Obviously, my career got cut short, but there are a tremendous amount of athletes on all different type of sports that he trains with. Speak to Coach a bit. Talk about when did it start? How did you meet him? How long he's been here for you? And some of the things y'all working towards your senior year with.
I think Coach Dez, he's always known me. I think the first time we met was probably 6, 7, something like that.
Yeah.
And
he got an eye for potential.
Yeah. And so
he do. Because when he called me, I was like, dang, somebody really want to work with me like that? I was pumped,
Yeah. And so that's the thing is like, I mean, I don't think anybody brings the energy that he brings, to the table. And so
it's almost like he he performing.
Yeah.
Like he about to go play.
Yep.
Yeah.
He be leaking out there with us. He be leaking out
still
there
do
with
that?
us.
Okay.
Oh yeah. But it was always like maybe once a year, twice a year, because he'd always come back. I'd always see him, and then there was a few years I didn't see him much, and then it was always trying to get him back,
No doubt.
for years, and then my freshman year, I think that was right before we knew he was finally starting to move back. Went out there, worked with him a little bit in Denver.
Okay.
And so then once he finally moved back last spring, is really when we started kicking things off.
Been all in since then?
All
for
in.
Sure,
yep.
Sure.
Last summer, either we try to get a session in here and there, during the seasons and stuff, which is tough. But this spring, that we've been full throttle. We just
My
ready
question
to
to
go.
that is this: when you 136-0 in wrestling, when you awesome in your position in football, you ain't really took no L's. I've never really seen nobody do him in like that. How do you get better? What's some weaknesses for you, or do you need new competition? You need to just hurry up and go to college. What is it for you?
Well, I mean, I know that I'm not the best D tackle in the country.
Sure.
So you got to think about
big goals.
yeah. And I mean,
Yeah.
it's always never being complacent, never being okay with yourself. I feel like that there, and just kind of like. And that's another big thing is just surrounding yourself with those type of people. You know what I'm saying? If you're surrounding yourself with dudes that think they made it.
Mediocrity or complacent?
Yeah, complacent. Think
for sure.
They already made it. They already got it. Got a few offers.
Yeah.
Oh, we're good now.
Yep.
But there's always another level to reach.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that's just my mentality.
Yeah, respect. I got another coach I want to ask you about. Coach Niles Paul. Yeah, I like how you lit up when you say that. That's my guy. That's my guy.
Yeah.
We grew up together. I've been knowing him since 10 years old. So I've seen his transformation and where he's at today. Him coming back, retiring from the NFL, being a Nebraska legend, high school All-American, bro.
Yeah.
It's crazy. How does he add value to that football team? And personally, in relationship with you, how is it like?
Because growing up, I always he'd always come back and do the
Niles Paul football camp.
The
I was
Niles
right
Paul,
there
and
helping him.
and then Philip Bates camp at Northwest. I'd always do those.
Yeah.
I watched him on TV.
No doubt.
When I was younger, just because my dad, so he would tell me about him, and so knew that he played at Nebraska, and so once got older and then he came back, I feel like it helps the team. It helps everybody. Just kind of like a guy who's played at Nebraska, played in the league. He's seen the things, he's seen.
He did all the steps of y'all all trying to get there.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
And so he's definitely a brain to pick whenever you got a question or just anything about life or football,
right?
Different stuff like that. And so I feel
I know he was a receiver, and then later in his NFL career he was a tight end. But during the team, does he focus more with just a certain core group, or is it across the spectrum?
So he coaches special teams as in
He's
overall.
special teams.
Yep, special teams. He's our special teams guy, and then he does both kind of tight end and receiver.
For sure.
Yep.
So Coach Martin, man, he is like an unsung hero to me. I feel like all the credit go to the guys. And a lot of people know who he is, but I don't really think he gets that.
Yeah.
That platform and that boost. Kind of speak. How us about Coach Martin?
Coach Martin's first year is my dad's senior year.
Dang.
Yeah. So
dang.
And so
that just hit me.
Yeah. And so I was ball boy from North growing up, and Coach Martin was the reason I went to North.
For sure.
If he wasn't there, I wouldn't be at North, and so. I'd run through a wall for that guy. I do a lot of stuff for him. That's definitely another role model in my life. Coach Martin, he's helped me out with a ton. I know he's there for me whenever, and so he means a lot to me.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. All right, you're doing your thing. When did you start getting recruiting and offers, and how did you get to where you at with Nebraska?
So it was my 8th grade summer going into my freshman year. I did the Nebraska camp just because, you know, and so.
It was a great summer. Who was the coach?
It was Frost.
Okay.
At Frost, T. Tui was the D-line coach, and then
that don't even matter. They ain't there no more.
But for
no
sure.
Shade, no shade, no shade.
But that I did pretty well at the camp, and then just kind of talk, you know, with Coach Martin, and you know, kind of coaches looking into me, and then it was that fall I took a couple, you know, just like game day visits, stuff like that. And then I got my first offer. It was the week. So Mickey Joseph came in.
Mickey Joseph.
Week later, he offered me.
Dang.
Yeah. So
he knew.
Yeah. So then that same week, I got Minnesota, Kansas, and Iowa State.
Wow.
Yeah. And so
how was that for you? Like,
you know, it was crazy just because it was like, you know, I don't have nothing, and then it's like
nothing to something.
Yeah.
But like everything.
Yeah. And so like it all happened. Yeah. Everything was like a day away from each other, and it was just like it was crazy.
Now let me ask you this: before the offers, Nebraska, like as a school, was not Nebraska of the old that we know. So before you got all these, before you got the offer from Nebraska, was it a thing about the Huskers where, regardless of what's going on, you was blind to like the Husker faithful was the Husker faithful? It don't matter. Yeah. Was you like that? It was like, man, it's my dream school, or was it like, man, it'd be cool to get offered, but I'm gonna just see, like what was that like for you?
Yeah. So like me, like, you know, everybody's like, oh, the Huskers '90s, but like growing up, that wasn't. No, it wasn't like what we were getting beat, you know, and so like it was never like, obviously, you know, family and it's cool, you know, staying home, but like it was never like a super dream.
Okay, you following me?
Yeah. It wasn't like a dream school. It was my dream school. You know, it was like Oregon.
Because a lot of people be capped, bro.
Yeah,
like a lot of people I talk to, like that are going to Nebraska, say, "Oh man, like I wanted to be a Husker."
Yeah.
Like, no, you didn't.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I respect you on that. Yeah. So that's honest. Yeah. What was your dream school?
Oregon. Yeah, I just flashy colors.
You know what I'm saying? 18,000 uniforms. It's crazy. So So how did you get around to the point to say, like, what made it like real to say, all right, I'm gonna be a Husker?
So from my freshman to sophomore year, like that Frost staff. So Mickey offered me. Never talked to the D-line coach one time. Damn. Never talked to Frost.
At all?
Not a hello.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So like, I just was like, I wanted to go anywhere but Nebraska.
Yeah. I mean, if the head coach ain't talking to you, ain't no chance.
Yeah. So I wanted to go everywhere. I wanted to go anywhere but Nebraska. And so like that new staff came in and it was still kind of like the same way. It was like, and then once I started, you know, just
balling.
Yeah.
When you ball, they gonna come.
So
you did your job.
Yeah. And so it was just. And then building that relationship with that new staff, and you know, I love Coach Rule, and you know, everybody up there, and that culture is just it's way different.
He a real one. Coach
Rule.
I think what I respect about Coach Rule is, I seen him in the hood. I seen him north.
Yep.
I seen him around OPS. So I kind of felt like, regardless of the results of what was happening right then, it's a culture. That was setting. So I can see why you were sold to want to go there for sure. Was there anybody around this process that said, nah, it's not a good look? You don't got to say no names. I'm just saying, was anybody that's like, I don't know, you got these other schools? Or what did it come down to?
You know, it really came down to just family. You know, it's 45 minutes down the road. You know, and it was just, I fell in love with the school. You know, I felt like
that tunnel walk. You seen all that?
You know, all that stuff. That, you know, new facilities, like those are nuts.
I know, bro.
It's just, I feel like I fell in love with just the staff and everything that got going down there, and it was just, you know, I had another school in mind, but I felt like I was liking that school because of the coach and not
the perks.
Yes.
Dang.
Yes.
All right.
And so and that's what really
all right.
Yeah, came down to my decision.
So I got a couple of questions on here some people wanted me to ask you. This is a good question. What is it like training at B&B with Terence Crawford and Coach Des Wilford?
It's intense. I can say that. Yeah.
That was a question.
Yeah.
Hey, so you kind of smile like if this was back in the day before NIL and the rules, somebody would be in trouble. Hey, I'm gonna tell you something. So when I play, it's over now. I've graduated. So when I played for Creighton, bro, we just wasn't boxing out, and Coach Altman just got sick of that shit, and he decided we gonna show up at practice at 6 a.m, and it was 11 football helmets and 11 football shoulder pads.
Dang.
7 of our teammates didn't go to practice that day. I was in that thing, man, and we was going to put the helmets on, put the pads on. We put a lid on the rim, so when you shoot, it got to come off, and you was boxing people out. You know, I bet if I told that story back then, somebody'd be done. You know, but if it's anything like if I know who he is, and I know Bud competitiveness, like just being around greatness, so it's intense, and it's the reason why you here, basically. All right, I respect that. All right, I got another question. All right, don't go out talking about Coach Altman if this go viral or something. All right. Another thing is this is a Michael Severe question. I can just tell. You were 3-time state champ in high school. Record is 136-0. I'm gonna add something to this question. How much does it mean to you to win 4?
You know, it means a lot. You know, it was just like I was saying earlier. It was just like
I spoke about the servant. When first question was you, bro.
You know, it just like earlier. It was just like growing up. It was like 4-timer. Like wow, like, it was celebrity. And so like and
so you think of him when you think about this goal.
Well, you know, it's just it's him. It's coaching.
No doubt.
And you know, Bula up there. You know, and that's what you know. I walk past it every day, and just seeing him, you know, in the newspaper with the big old burger, you know, it's just.
I remember that.
Another step closer, you know.
Man. So that's really in your heart.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, who in the way? Who you got to go through? Like who's that guy that you got to go through? I know sometimes it be luck of the draw, you know, mismatches and all that, bad matchups. But like, let's put some respect on the competition. Who's in the way of 4? Or do you want 4 so much it don't matter?
Yeah, and like to me, it's just whoever's out there.
No doubt.
Know?
All right, respect. So Michael's question is, I guess I really can't say that. You kind of answered that. He said, do you hope to compete in the Olympics for wrestling one day? He looking at it like you're 3-time state champ, 36-0.
Yeah.
Why not go to do what Nash is doing? Take your ass and try to go to the Olympics.
It's never been a thought of mine. You know, it's always just been
talent, something you can
do. Yeah, you know, it was just college football, you know, football, NFL.
Yeah. All right, yeah, because he did follow up is, what's your plans? All right.
Okay.
So this is a good question. I didn't even ask you in the beginning. You named a lot of great people, bro. And I don't even mean about accolades. I'm talking about like good character people who make you who you are today. But who are the most influential people in your life right now and why?
Influential. You know, I got to go my family.
Yep.
You know, those are my biggest supporters. If you look at like videos from state wrestling, like there were probably 7-8 rows just deep, deep, and you know, and they're just coming to support. You know what I'm saying? And so
you mentioned family like more than anything else in this whole pod. So that's your glue.
Yeah, that family. You know, just none can break family.
Respect,
you
bro.
know, and
Respect.
So, you know, any type of family. You know, Coach Dez.
Yeah.
You know, he's been there for me.
Yeah.
You know, just for anything. You know, I can go to him for anything. You know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so, you know, there's definitely Coach Martin.
Yeah.
There's another guy. You know, who's there for me. You know, I know. You know, it's just that bond beyond just like training or just being a football coach and stuff like that. And so, you know, I would probably say those are probably
the top.
Yeah.
We already spoke about the humble servant.
Yeah.
You know, he want that for. I respect that though. Yeah. Okay. So let's take it back to the beginning though. So like when you were younger, like who did you look up to? Like, you know, when I wanted to be like Mike, but also I grew up in a time where Kobe Bryant was drafted, and he's my favorite player of all time.
Mm-hmm.
So mine was Kobe and Michael Jordan. Who were some of your like inspirations on the highest levels growing up?
So growing up, like see him like actually wrestle. I wasn't old enough.
Right here in the city.
Yeah. I wasn't
Dang.
old enough to actually. It was just kind of like the stories. Like dad.
The legend.
Yeah,
I can tell you some stories too. But this is your time.
And so it was just just kind of like the stories, I guess, of just the 4-timer. My dad always saying, and then.
Hey, what was your record, bro?
136.5.
Got you. So why? So if you had like maybe 143, is it more reps in wrestling now or what? Like
I would say you definitely get like into nowadays you definitely get a lot more matches per year than
all right. So it's not really about like it's just like the NBA evolving. I respect that.
Yeah, you definitely get a lot more.
All right.
Yep.
Okay. Another question. A few more. It says. We talked about that. Man, you've been rolling just naturally, just speaking about it. All right, I think we answered all the questions. All right, let me ask you this. So what's the conversation with your football team? Wrestling, you going to do you, and that's a little different. It's like it's you on the island by yourself at the end of the day. With your football team, what would it be like to win state, bro?
Like
we ain't talked about that. Something missing. I feel like something missing in this room, bro. I don't think Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the Let It Fly show. I want to thank our special guest, Tyson, man. A lot of passion. This is one of them episodes where the team got to reflect, in October, or just when it's about to be that last game for the state title when they're playing football, man. Shout out to Omaha North, all the coaches and everybody just around Tyson, and I wish him luck on his career. I just want to, I'm going to wrap. I want to give a special thanks to our sponsor, Budweiser. It's easy drinking, easy buckets, easy field goals. Just Budweiser, just make it easy for you. Something to do. Come down to the Let It Fly show, whether you're at home, no matter where you at. You can always pop a cold one. Thank you to our sponsor, Budweiser. Special thanks to Matt Pittman. He does a great job on productions. Phil McClain, always scheduling great guests. Sometimes assisted by Michael Severe, too. Special thanks to him just for being my partner. I'm holding it down for you today. Meg the Maven, Val, we appreciate all y'all. I'm going to wrap. It's Josh Jones on behalf of myself and Michael Severe. You know how we do it. It's the Let It Fly show.